A simple program that manages a user's contact information. Let's run the program to see what it does. So this program prompts the user for a contact, for example, 912-898-74, as well as a name. All right, it repeats this for 5 times. All right. Now, at the end of this program, the contacts will be saved to a text file on the user's computer. So these contacts that were entered and they have been displayed. So these contacts are actually stored in a file. Our aim in of this video is to look at how we may break this program into modules. Whilst it's not a big program, but we can identify some subsections within this code. All right, so let's examine the code. As you can see, everything at the moment is written in the main function. All right, so this is where the main function is on line 6. All right, if we look carefully, we notice that here in line 10, we would have opened the file contact.txt using the write mode. All right, so further down from line 17, there's a loop there that will allow for the repetition, the 5 repetitions to get the user's contact number and name. All right. So as we can see, down to line 26, they're basically getting the contact information. So let's see if we could actually break this program into um, some modules. All right. So in addition to main, the first module that we're going to be setting up is a new contact module. All right, new contact module or function in our case. So we're gonna be doing now, we're gonna be creating a function called new contact. It will not return anything. So we're gonna say void new contact. All right. And what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to take the information that we have down here from where we created the file handler all the way down to line 31. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to place it up here in new contact. All right, so I'm making my code more manageable by creating these modules. And of course, creating modules in your program also allows for code reusability. All right, so here I have declared 2 character arrays or strings. One to store the phone number, one to store the name. I'm going to make these global variables, just going to put them up here so that they can be accessed from all the different modules that we have created. All right, so let's examine the code here in main. So at the moment, the code that is left in main will do the output or the display of the information. But let's see if we run this program, what happens. All right, so it's still run, and I'm seeing where it's displaying the data that we would have entered previously. All right. But if you observe, it did not ask me to enter any contact in this um, instance. All right. And that is because in main, there is no call to the module that is used to enter the contact information. All right. So if we want that to happen, we would have to call this new module, which is called new contact. So if we call new contact in main, of course, we'll be prompted to enter the contact information. All right, just to keep it simple, I'm just gonna allow the user to enter just one contact for now. So I'm just gonna comment out the loop. All right, so now that we have called new contact, let's run this program again. All right, so there it is. It's now asking me for a contact. I'm gonna enter a new contact. All right. So there it is. The contact is stored. And what happened is that we have overwrite the file. The file it was open in, if you notice in the new contact module, we have used the write mode W. What this does is that it's recreated the file. So it basically overwrite whatever was there. All right. So if we want to add new contacts on the go, we need to open the file in the append mode. So I'll need to change that to A. All right, but let's continue for now. All right. So let's see if we can create another module. So down here, we're just displaying the contacts. So from line 36, here we have created a new file handle called my contacts 2 that opens the file in the read mode. Opens the contact.txt file in read mode. And here in line 38, we check to see if the handler was created successfully. All right. If it wasn't, an error message will be printed saying that the file doesn't exist. And from line 43, here we have displayed a message indicating that we are showing the stored contacts. All right. And of course, the printing would have started from line 45, where we use the fscanf to read the file. There we get the phone number and the name. And once two records have been entered, as indicated here, then we continue reading. And down here, the printing is done. All right. So we printed what was retrieved from the file down here. At the end of this loop, we would have closed at line 48. Now, all of this could go in a module by itself, right? That way, whenever we wish to access the operations to print out contacts, there will be no need for us to be going back to main. But we could always call on this module, which I'm going to call display contact, and say void display contact. All right. So now let me comment this one out. If I should call display contact, so if I should call display contact, let's see what's going to happen. All right, so there it is. It printed out the contact information that was entered before. All right. Now, if I want to call new contact, I can just indicate here that I'm calling new contact. All right. No, but this is not typically how the user would be using the program because I mean it can't be that each time I want to call a method we're gonna paste it or comment it out and so forth. It may be best for us to create a menu and give the user a choice so as to make a selection as to what he or she wishes to do. All right. We could start by creating the menu here in main. All right. But again, the menu can operate by itself. So we can make a module or a function for the menu, main menu. And what this is going to do is just going to print a heading here that says something like display contact. All right. And then we are displaying sorry, not display contact. We are seeing main menu. And we're going to display the options that are available in the menu. Come to line down here. As for the menu items, I'm just going to list them in a print statement. So let's say first menu item, let's say one, a new contact, new line, two, save view contact, new line, three, save find contact. Of course, you can think about other method, other actions that you don't want to allow. Look at the exit. All right, for now, we can always go back and modify. All right. Now, so we can leave a line here. All right, so if I should call main menu here in the main function, it's going to display the options, but I will not be able to make any selection, as you can see. No selection can be made. All right, so now in order for me to make a selection in the menu, all right, I need to create a variable called, let's say, choice. And I'm going to set choice to an empty character. All right, so notice I didn't just put two empty quotation. I put the two empty quotation with that first space as well, right? Because the character cannot be left empty. All right, so now we're going to read the character. So now say choice is equal to get ch. So get ch is a method which is used to read a character from the user. All right. All right. So let's check to see if this is working. All right. As you can see, it's saying that get ch was not declared in the scope. So what we need to do is to include the library or the header file from which get ch comes. And that is unio.h. So now if you compile, no error. All right, so there you go. Now, of course, I can make a choice now. Good. So not only do I want the menu to allow me to make a choice, but I want to repeatedly display the menu so that the user can be guided by it. So to achieve that, we're going to be setting up a little loop, in this case, do while loop. All right. So the screen. All right, so do while until. So you're gonna do while, gonna keep repeating. Once the choice or the choice entered is not equal to 5, because 5 is a sensitive value in this case. All right, in other words, once 5 is entered, the program will terminate. All right, so you can just run this. So it doesn't matter what I press, and I keep repeating until I press 5. So once 5 is pressed, it will exit. If you notice, the menu items, were being repeated on the screen to prevent that from happening. What we normally do is just to clear the screen. You can use the system method CLS to clear the screen in this case. So if I put system CLS and run, all right, so notice doesn't matter what I enter, the menu item will not be repeated. Right, but once I press 5, it will exit. All right, so there it is. So now I'm gonna specify what should happen when the different items are selected. So let's check to see if item 1 has been selected. I'm just gonna say choice If the choice is equal to 1, that simply means the user would like to add a new contact. And to do so, we're going to just call the new contact method. So it's going to say new contact right here. So then enter new contact. So you're calling the new contact method. Once the choice is 1, if choice is 2, the choice is equal to 2, it simply means that the user would want to display contact. All right, and so forth. So let's see. So if we run this, if I enter 1, here it allows me to enter a new contact. So for example, 219, I want to enter the name. So there it is. If I press 2, let's look what's gonna happen when I press 2. All right, so it seems like nothing is happening, but we notice there's a little flash going on. So what is happening is that because this menu is in a loop, and there is no get ch in the view contact, the contact information is displayed, but it's being erased from the screen because the menu has that system's CLS to clear the screen. So let me go and fix that so you can actually see the output. So I'm gonna go back to display contact. And at the end of displaying the contact here, I'm just gonna put a get ch, and that will allow the screen to pause until the user presses a key on the keyboard. So let's hit that. So there it is. So it displays the contact until a key is pressed. So once a key is pressed, you go back. All right. So there we have broken up this very simple program into one module that handles the new contacts. All right. Um, and a module that handles new contacts. The view contacts. As I've said before, because we'll have opened the file using the write mode each time we run the program and select 1 to add a new contact. You notice the content of the file will be erased. So let's see if we can fix that by opening the file using the append mode. Right, so let's see. I'm going to create a new contact, number 219. Let's see if we can view. There it is, super appending. All right, so let's create a new one. All right, so there it is. And even if I exit this program, run it again. So give it the contacts, add a new one, contact information. All right, so there it is. So we are able to continuously add. Um, so let's review the code. Let's see if we could identify any additional module that could be created. All right. Is there an additional module that we could create? All right. Yes, if you look carefully, there are additional modules that can be created. Um, so let me add another functionality to this code. Now, whenever the user enters the contact, they are being saved automatically. Could we just ask them if they would like to save? Let's ask the user if they would like to save. So to do this, of course, we could just create a variable to get the user's choice. Let's use ch in this case. And let's say do print a message, print a security line. Would you like to say? And a choice says that we are anticipating our yes or no. Right? So we could say something like ch is equal to get ch. That will read the user's choice. And we are repeating until either y or n is entered. So you can say while ch is not equal to y, and ch not equal to in this case, in this way, the user would only be able to enter y or n, right? And so now in this regards, the only time that we would choose to write to the file is when the choice is equal to y. So we can say down here that if ch is equal to y, it means the user has selected y. And of course, we can do the writing to the file. All right, so let's test this. Add a new contact. All right, it's a random number. So here it is asking me to enter a choice, right? And it's not moving on until I enter either y or n. So if I put n, it just come out. But if you notice, the line the question is repeating. So what I need to do is just to take that out of the loop. So we'll get out. Take this line out of the loop and just leave the choice. Leave the reading of the choice in here. That way we won't have this repetition. Right. Let's try that again. Contact number 92. All right, so would you like to save? Like I'm pressing enter now, I'm pressing some random keys. Nothing is happening, but I'm gonna press Y and there it is. So the information has been saved. And you can be creative, so you could probably notify print a message indicating that the record save was saved successfully or whatever message you deemed appropriate in that regards. All right. So that is how we would go about breaking this program into different modules. Of course, as I said before, there are other modules that can be created. So we could even create a save module, and we could then call that save module whenever we wish to save records to the file and so on. All right. Look at how we could create the save module. That's a very quick idea. So you would simply say something like void save. All right. And I'm just gonna move some of the information from the new contact. So here, the handler that I created To save the file, I'm going to take it out and put it up here. And save, I'm going to take out this one as well. So I'm here making my new contact model a little smaller. All right, just focusing on getting the contact information. So I'm creating the same module now that can be used by other modules as well as other programs to save records to the file. All right. The next part that I'm going to take out is this. Take out these. So whenever the user chooses to save the record, so the user chooses, yes, I'm just going to call it save module. Right? I'm just going to say save. So the other bits and pieces of codes that were used, I'm putting them up here. So here we are writing to the file using the fprintf. So this will only be done when the user chooses to save. Now, you might be wondering how the computer is going to know what the phone number and the name is, because these are global variables. They're available, they're accessible by all the methods in the program. All right? So the phone will be known once it's entered, as well as the name will be known because they are global variables. So that simply means all the methods below will have access to them. All right, so that's pretty much what the save would look like. And still, if you look more carefully, I'm sure there are other modules that you could identify. All right, so I mean, you could challenge yourself to identify some other modules that could be implemented in this program. So let's see the program perform the same operations. Add a new contact number 4139875. The name is Bob. Would you like to see? Want to say yes? Let's see if Bob was saved. And there it is. Bob has been saved. Good. So here it is. So we have successfully divided this program into a number of modules. Let's see how many modules we created. One, to save module, to save the information to the file, and the new contact module, for the display contact module, and the main menu module. And we have created a main, well, we have created a main. All right, so thanks for watching, and I hope you find this useful.